Welcome, dearest patrons and poltergeists, to Chateau Macabre, a gay horror podcast where we give our hot takes, gay brain theories, and initial reactions, keeping it cool, creepy, and camp, with original topics that never fail to please.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for joining us for the very first episode of Chateau Macabre. It's been a long time coming, but we're so happy to finally be here. I am your
Yes.
host, Robert. With me is my friend
Kyle.
Kyle. Thank you for joining me, Kyle.
Thank you,
My
thank you.
co-host. And yeah, we're so excited to finally get started with our show. We're going to be giving you horror news updates in the horror scene. We're going to be talking about our crazy harebrained horror theories, about our favorite movies and characters. And yeah, we're just really excited to be here. And now, here at Chateau Macabre, we kind of like to celebrate Halloween all year round. We kind of think of this as our like weekly Halloween party.
Yeah.
And every good Halloween party needs a good cocktail. So that brings us to our creepy cocktail of the week. This cocktail is called embalming fluid. It is
So green.
It is green. For those of you who can't see, it's a very green drink. It is a mix of vodka, apple,
I think apple cocktail mix
lime juice,
and
ginger ale, and green food coloring.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give this a taste and see if this is something you should serve at your next Halloween party.
Bottoms up. Cheers,
cheers,
Robert.
cheers.
Let's do it. Okay. Oh.
You don't seem like you like it.
No, I took a big gulp.
Oh,
I'm not used to big gulps. So,
I like it. I like the lime flavor.
It's really
I like the
refreshing.
sourness. Yeah.
yeah.
But I really think like the green color, that's like the spooky thing. So that's like
Yeah.
that's really what's gonna make it for like a spooky theme, like Halloween party or spooky movie night. So I would serve this at a party. What about you?
Yeah, no, 100% super refreshing. The color is so green, it reminds me of the St. Patty's River in Chicago.
Yeah.
So imagine we just like took our glasses and like fished this out of there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's a
Same
good point
idea.
too. Perfect idea for St. Patrick's Day too. So
Yeah.
yeah. But okay, now that we've had some liquor, Kyle and I are going to get into our horror news updates. Starting off with my first update. In her first feature film, director Ishana Shyamalan, that's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, will be taking the reins to create the upcoming horror mystery film, The Watchers. The film follows Mina, a 28-year-old artist who gets stranded in an expansive, untouched forest in Western Ireland. When Mina finds shelter, she unknowingly becomes trapped alongside three strangers who are watched and stalked by a mysterious creature each night. The Watchers will be arriving to theaters on Friday, June 7th, 2024. Now,
Okay. Thoughts?
I've seen the trailer for this already. I saw this the last time I went to the movies, and it looks pretty good. When I saw that a Shyamalan was attached to it, I got instantly a little nervous. Not the biggest fan of M. Night Shyamalan's work, but
Yeah.
he's just a producer. It's his daughter who's directing. But the trailer looked really good. It's starring Dakota Fanning, who I love. So that makes me excited, yeah.
I know. I have to say, like, I've never heard of any of his daughter's work before. Is this her?
Well,
like,
this is her directorial
right?
debut, yes. So we'll have to see how good it is.
Okay,
But the trailer looked pretty good. So
Okay.
if you haven't seen it, I recommend going to watch it.
for sure. What a name, The Watchers.
The Watchers, yeah. It
It's
sounds voyeuristic, doesn't it?
But it's a little different from the concept of the strangers, right? Because
Yeah, I believe this is more supernatural. It's like
Okay.
she's being stalked by monsters. It's not like a slasher
like rather
movie.
than being okay. I'm curious to see that. We'll have to watch it for sure.
For sure.
So next for my horror news update is another movie as well. It's a trailer for Trap, a wild new horror film from her father, keeping it in the I can't.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan, thank you. The name trips me up. Shyamalan just dropped. So in this thriller, it stars Josh Hartnett And the premise of this movie is like a father, teen daughter attend a pop concert, and they realize they're at the center of a dark and sinister event. As the trailer reveals, the pop concert is actually an elaborate trap designed to catch the butcher, a sadistic serial killer who's been like evading authorities. More to come soon. So, I guess like thoughts on this. New like I like new location. I like the fact that it's in a pop concert. I've noticed that more horror movies have become in more public spaces.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the past, it's always been in the creepy old mansion or the dark old whatever. And I mean, even with a new like Scream movie that was set in New York, it was so refreshing to watch. So
yeah, and I think this is such like an original concept too. Like, first of all, like you have the setting, like it's a slasher taking place like in a concert where like there's actively like a big like, I'm assuming like Taylor Swift level.
Oh wait,
level what?
I'm sorry. I'm like laughing because you had that horror movie idea for Taylor Swift, like. It was something. It was like
like when Swifties attack or something. Yeah. I pitched this horror movie to him back a while ago. Like Swifties, like going crazy and attacking people. But anyways, this is
psychological thriller.
Yeah. When stans get a little too crazy, but I think this setting is like super unique, and from the trailer, like the trailer gives away, I think, a good chunk of the movie. Like you instantly find out like who the butcher is. So, like, if you haven't seen the trailer, go watch it. I won't spoil it for you guys, but yeah, it's a very unique looking movie. I'll watch it. We'll see how it is.
We'll definitely see how it is.
For our next news update, actress Danielle Harris has announced that she is currently working on a memoir. She wrote in a caption on Instagram, "Crazy to think that 36 years ago outlined my entire life. Recounting stories from my childhood for my memoir and digging through so many memories has had me overwhelmed. I'm scared, but excited and finally ready." Now, Danielle Harris is, of course, famous for starring in the Halloween franchise. She originally started off back in Halloween 4 playing Laurie Strode's daughter, so Michael Myers' niece. Yes.
Right.
But she starred in like several movies in the Halloween franchise. She starred in Halloween 5. She starred in Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. So, but she's been in other things too. Like she was in Urban Legend. She was actually also in that old cartoon, The Wild Thornberrys. Do you remember that one?
With Eliza?
Yeah. But she played the older sister, like the bitchy older sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, there was always that character, like in every like cartoon. Sorry to sidetrack, but like in every cartoon family, they always had like that one moody older sister.
The angsty teenage
The angsty teen sister.
Yeah. But I love her. I mean, I love Danielle Harris. I've been a big fan of hers for a while, and I think she's great. Like she's very active in like the horror space. Like she's always at conventions and stuff. Like I actually also believe she has like her own horror podcast. So okay. I mean, I'm a big fan of hers. So whenever this memoir comes out, I plan on reading it.
Okay, I'm not so familiar with Danielle Harris. So would you say she's like a household name?
I think it depends who you ask. So like I'd say if like you're a huge fan of like the Halloween franchise, you know who she is. Like she was in 4 of the movies. Like I'd say if you're like a diehard like Michael Myers fan, like she's like right under like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh wow.
But like I don't know. I'd say like obviously she's not like a household name like to, other people. But like to me she is. To me she's one of my faves. So like yeah, I'm excited for her new book. Whenever it comes out, I'll be reading it.
On to my second news update. Vertical has released the first trailer for its upcoming supernatural horror film, The Exorcism. Ooh. I mean, like we've seen like so many freaking exorcism.
There have been a lot of like exorcism / like possession movies just in like the last couple years. Like what was that one we watched with like the blonde girl and like she was like a female exorcist? What was that one called?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the Pope's, right?
No, that was the Pope's Exorcist.
But yeah, the really hot one, and she was just like, They're just casting hot
Hot
girls and
people,
leads.
yeah, like Immaculate. That was another
Oh
one.
yeah.
There have been a lot of like evil possession, like demon, like Catholic movies in the last couple years.
Going back to the second thing, it stars Russell Crowe and Ryan Simpkins. Just a little bit of context about the story for this. It's follows Crowe as Anthony Miller, who is a troubled actor whose life begins to unravel while shooting a supernatural horror film. His estranged daughter, Lee, wonders if he's slipping back into his past addictions or if there's something more sinister at play. So I did take a look at the cast of this, and I was pretty excited because Chloe Bailey is in it.
Yes, Chloe Bailey is in it. Which is that feels so random to
Right.
me. It feels very random because like obviously her sister was just in like one of the biggest movies of like 2023, The Little Mermaid, and now poor Chloe Bailey, she feels like she's always riding her sister's coattails. Like I don't know. It feels very random to me.
Yeah,
Of her doing this smaller like horror movie.
yeah, because they split. They were doing like music together
Yeah.
at first, and then they split and started having like solo careers, and then I guess they're venturing into acting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. She was in another movie too, wasn't she?
Praise this, which
Praise
is
This.
like the total opposite of this. This is like that movie was a gospel choir movie.
Yeah.
And this is like an exorcism movie, so.
Did you watch Praise This?
Oh no.
Okay, I was gonna ask you
No.
if she's a good actress, but I don't know.
I mean, well, technically, both of them have been in Blackish.
Oh, okay.
And you know, so they have some acting like chops, and but I mean, I am a fan of like some of Chloe's songs. I mean, that's all I have to say on that note.
Okay. I mean, I saw the trailer for this. I mean, it at least looks like
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, like we said, like there's been a ton of like exorcism, like demon devil possession movies in the last few years, but this one I think at least looks a little different because it's kind of like meta. So like he's playing like an actor in an exorcism movie, but then there's like an actual demon while he's making the movie. So it's very meta. It's very like Scream vibes. So it's at least like an interesting premise, I guess.
Okay, like last note on this, but like we have to start like a tally counter of how many Russell Crowe exorcism movies there have been.
He's got two,
recently.
and they just announced The Pope's Exorcist 2, so I'm assuming he's going to be in that one as well. So he's at 2, he's going to be at 3 soon. So we'll see.
We'll see.
But anyway, my next horror update is that Netflix is currently being accused of using AI altered or generated photos in their new true crime documentary, What Jennifer Did. Netflix recently released the true crime doc that recounts the chilling story of a young Canadian woman, Jennifer Pan, who allegedly plotted to kill both of her parents in a murder-for-hire scheme in 2010. After the doc was released, Netflix users started pointing out that the photos of Pan used in the documentary appeared to be altered using AI or flat out AI generated. They pointed out the strange look of Pan's hands and teeth, as well as background images in the photos, which some users are saying have all the hallmarks of an AI generated photos. Both Netflix and the filmmakers maintain that the photos of Jennifer Pan are real and were not altered using AI. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because Kyle and I recently watched this documentary, What Jennifer Did. Kyle actually, he loves to have like movie nights over with like all our friends, and like this was something you were really excited about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why did you really want to watch this documentary?
Okay, so I heard about this case like many years ago. It was a really famous case, but personally, I see like Asian family trauma as, you know, in our bios.
Okay.
And I click. And it was such a disturbing case because you take a look at this girl, and she looks like a very meek and mild, you know, good student type of like character, and to be involved in like murder for hire for your parents. Yeah.
It's sick.
It was, you know what? I'm not sure exactly on the timing, but this was around the time that Elisa Lam, the also like Asian American Canadian tourist, went to the Cecil Hotel and ended up in the water tank.
Yeah.
So there's something there
Something going on in Canada.
in Canada with
Yeah.
the Asian American
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
But Asian Canadian, excuse me.
But how do you feel about the story of them possibly using AI generated images in the doc we just watched?
I think my biggest question is like, what for? Like,
Some people, okay, so I read a little bit about it. Some people are saying that like some of the photos they used were doctored up to like make her seem like make her seem more outgoing, because like we saw the security footage of her like in the police station, everything. She's very like meek and timid and very like afraid of the police, but then like they're showing us these photos of her like out at parties or like out with friends. So like some people are saying like the photos were possibly altered to make her seem like more of a liar. And like I actually have the pictures right now if you want to judge for yourself like how authentic they look.
oh my god.
What do you think? Do they look AI generated?
I'm like looking at the hands now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, yeah. That her thumb looks weird.
Yeah. But also like even the shadows, like they make no sense. Like there are shadows like on her arms but like not over here. But also like look at this bookshelf behind her. Can you identify anything on this bookshelf?
Like,
it all just looks like a jumbled mess.
You know what that looks like? The drawings that like the psych ward patients make.
Yeah, yeah.
They just like what do you see? And it's like abstract.
Yeah, it looks abstract.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm not saying that these are AI generated, because like Netflix has said that they aren't, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it right here and I can't tell what I'm looking at. So
No.
So
But also like I'm sorry, it's just her facial expression.
yeah,
It's
very
just
weird,
funny.
very weird.
This is a side note, but like I heard AI has not perfected like eyes yet. Okay, I'm gonna get like so roasted for this, but Gia Gunn was in a another Asian beautiful queen.
Another unhinged Asian.
Gia Gunn was in a promo poster for like I think it was Bitchin', the precinct party.
Yeah, I remember.
And like everybody had the natural photos because it was like a Mean Girls theme, and one of our friends pointed out that like, oh, Gia's is like AI generated.
Yeah,
and
no,
I was like,
no, I know what you're talking about. I remember because I was at that party. I remember the flyers, and that was definitely, there was some trend going on like when it was some trend going on like last year, like some AI app, like it was like the high school photo.
Yearbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was where that was from. I remember that photo. So
and people could clock it because you know the eyes are not there yet for the AI photos.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's a thing apparently, but I mean,
What's wrong with the eyes though?
they're a little too perfect in terms of like AI rendering, you know. It's not, there are like some details there apparently that are not, they just look too dead because they're not perfect. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
But anyway, do we have any other news updates?
Yeah. I think this one I'm actually pretty excited about and happy to announce that Dark Harbor will once again rise for Halloween at the Queen Mary.
Ooh,
Yay!
yeah.
So, just reading here, it's from September 20 through November 2 with haunted mazes, live entertainment, theme bars, and food. Now, the reason why Robert and I are so excited about this is, at this point, I don't care if we're gonna get canceled, but by Shaq fans, but Shacktoberfest.
Shacktoberfest.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, first of all, we have to give like a little bit of context for Dark Harbor.
Yes.
So like Dark Harbor was like this Halloween haunt that was happening like every year in Long Beach on the Queen Mary, this 100-year-old ship, and they'd have like this ghost, themed like haunt every year. But then it closed after the pandemic.
It did. Yeah.
So and then I think the ship, like, they had trouble with like owners, like it went out of business like a few times. Like they just had trouble like people like maintaining it over the years. And then so Dark Harbor went away for a while, and then one year Shaquille O'Neal decided to throw his own Halloween event
party
on the ship called Shacktoberfest. And I never went to it, so I can't personally, you know, claim what it was like. But it never piqued my interest because it always seemed like it was trying to be like multiple things at once. Like it's part like Halloween Haunt, but also like part Oktoberfest and like part amusement park. It was like a lot of things going on, and also like the entire theming is themed around Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, which is not something I'm personally interested in. So like,
No.
I never plan to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, okay, that's one thing to have like something commercialized, but to have something like overly commercialized.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was not it. But
and it was advertised to hell and back. Like there were
Yeah.
billboards for it. They
No.
were advertising at Midsummer Scream, and they were handing out coupons for that too. And I just like, you can keep this.
Yeah.
I'm not using it.
no.
No.
But
I'm very
we're glad.
Yeah,
they're back.
I'm very happy that Dark Harbor is coming back because I've still never been to Dark Harbor, so this would be my first year going. So I'm very excited.
No. Yes.
Yes. But yeah, that brings us to the conclusion of this week's news updates. Now we are going to get into this episode's discussion where we are going to be talking about locations from horror movies that we think would be on the Sniffies map. For those of you who don't
Are straight.
know, who are straight, who don't know what Sniffies is, it is basically it's a hookup website. It's a hookup app type thing. It's kind of like Grindr, where you can, you know, see profiles around you like in relation to where you are. It's map based, so like you see other people who are down to, you know, hook up in your area. But kind of what the appeal of Sniffies is over like Grindr is that it's mostly like location based. So like it'll give you like different locations that are popular for hooking up with people. So like a bar, you know, or a specific club, or like
Yeah, I mean, to say here, like, I think it's even more specific than that. It's not like the park. It's like stall number 3.
yeah, it's
And
very
it's like a full blown like 15 guys in there.
it's a very cruisy app. It's made for people who are, you know, trying to meet up with people in very like public settings. But yeah, it's definitely unique. It's definitely it's got some appeal for certain people.
Yeah.
Have you ever used Sniffies?
Oh yeah.
You have.
I have used Sniffies, and
Okay.
you know, I said this before, but like for some reason I call it like Grindr's older, hornier brother. Because Grindr, if you think about it, it's like a grid and it just shows you distance. Sniffies is like an actual map with like pinpoint location
Of like
this
where
is where
to
I
find.
am.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit creepy.
It is very
you know, for
creepy.
safety reasons, obviously, like, you know, be safe.
Yeah.
But I think what's crazy about it is that like people can actually advertise, you know, their group events
Yeah.
on there too.
Like, oh, I'm having an orgy at my place.
Yeah.
Come by at this time. Yeah.
And you can see everything, and in addition to like seeing everything, like full nudity as your profile picture.
Yeah. Which, like, I mean, on a hookup website, like, I wouldn't think is like the biggest deal. I honestly
Right.
find it kind of weird that like they don't allow nudity on Grindr, because like if you're on Grindr, you know what you're there to do. So like, why they don't allow nudity on there, I don't really get. But
Yeah.
so the nudity on Sniffies thing isn't super shocking.
She's
to me.
just real. Yeah.
She keeps it real. She keeps it real.
Right.
But yeah, I've never used Sniffies. Well, I've never used Sniffies to like meet up with anyone. I've been like curious about it in the past. Like I've gone on the website just to like look at what like locations are in my area, because it's very surprising what
yeah.
locations you see on there that people are apparently having sex in. Like I think I've told you about this before, but there's this one park in my neighborhood.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I wouldn't even like call it a park, because like there's this one very busy street in my
Yeah.
town. It's like the main street, like that you come in when you're coming into town.
Don't be shy. Drop the street.
On Gaffney Street in San Pedro. But it's a very busy street, and like there's this park, quote unquote, but I wouldn't even really call it a park, because it's just like this concrete patch with like
Grass.
a little
Like a
bit of
little
grass,
grass.
and then like some ugly sculptures, but like
Yeah.
people are, and it's not in a good part of town. Like there's a large homeless population where I live, and like that one street is where they all kind of hang out. But that park, quote unquote, is a Sniffies location.
It's like a hot spot.
It is, and
Yeah.
I'm like, who? Like how is anyone having sex here? Who is having sex here? Is it just like the homeless people? Like I don't know.
You just see like the tent. No,
The
but
tent, yeah.
actually, I kind of know that spot now because you pointed it out, and I don't mean to like joke about it because some people have no place to host, but I every time it's at the entrance of the 110 freeway on Gaffey,
Yeah.
going to like northbound to LA, and every time I pass going to and from work and I see that patch of grass, I think of like you pointing that out.
You know what's going on
And I'm
there.
just like, that's the hot spot.
Yeah. But it's shocking.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about though. Like these locations are so,
It's so
shocking.
shocking.
Yeah.
It's so specific.
But as two queers who are very like familiar with Sniffies, fairly familiar with
Fairly.
Sniffies, and who are also like horror fans, we
Yeah.
kind of thought it'd be fun to think about like what locations from horror movies would also be on this website. So one place I think would absolutely be on Sniffies if it were real is the Bates Motel. Now, the Bates Motel is, of course, the location featured in the classic movie Psycho, one of my favorite movies of all time. It is a motel owned and operated by Norman Bates, one of obviously one of the most iconic villains of all time. It's the place where Marion Crane goes when she's on the run from the police. She stays at the Bates Motel, and she meets her fateful end when she decides to take a shower in the Bates Motel. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It like went to something else.
But yeah, I think this would for sure be on the Sniffies map. I mean, a lot of these like hosting like sex things that go on Sniffies do happen in like hotels and motels and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So like, but like the Bates Motel, like that, it already has that going for it. But like in the context of like the movie, like it's established that like the Bates Motel is like a struggling motel because like it's so secluded. It's on like a highway that no one uses. So like, I mean, when Marion shows up there in the movie, she's the only one there. It's not a busy motel. So like, it's very private. It's just her and Norman there. Now, I will say, if you do use the Bates Motel as a Sniffies location, be aware that Norman likes to watch. He does
yeah.
like he literally
Voyeurism.
yeah, he likes to screw holes in the wall and just watch what goes on in the room. So like
He's like jerking off in the corner wearing his dead mom's clothes.
yeah,
Like,
literally. But I mean, I don't know, if you're into like being watched, I guess that's a plus for you. But like Norman Bates, like it's not like he's gonna snitch on you because like he is like also a creepy gay guy, so like he has no place to judge.
No, but
No.
okay, this is like sidetracking a little bit, but obviously gays on the earlier days of Grindr, we love like toxic men. We probably still do love toxic men. So everybody was like, yeah, I want a hot guy with like no feelings and all that. But the reason why I bring it up is that I've noticed on TikTok there's this trend of straight men following what's called being a Sigma. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
And it's and it's like all the clips of like Norman Bates. Oh no, of like Christian Bale.
That's Patrick Bateman.
Oh,
Yeah, two different movies,
Got
two
confused.
different Bates.
two different Bates.
Yes,
But yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Still a little bit psychotic. Like same idea.
Yeah, that's American Psycho, not Psycho specifically.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but yeah, the Bates Motel, like, it might be a creepy, like, rundown motel, but like, at least it's clean. Like, Norman like does boast that he keeps the motel very clean. He mentions it like several times how often he changes the bed sheets in the motel, and like now we kind of know why he is, because like people are going there to fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, it's clean, but I'm gonna watch.
Um,
And then we're gonna murder you afterwards.
yeah, but I mean, at least I get to go out with one more good time. Um, but I think the real reason why, like, when we had this prompt, when we were talking about it together, why I instantly went to the Bates Motel is because of Psycho 2. I don't know if you've ever seen Psycho 2.
No.
There's this scene where, like, Norman Bates gets out of jail like 20 years after, like, the original movie. He gets out of jail because I guess, like, murdering 7 people isn't enough to keep you in jail for life, but whatever. He gets out of jail and he goes back to the Bates Motel for the first time in 20 years, and he meets, like, the Bates Motel is still in operation. It's just being managed by this other guy. And he's talking to the guy and he's like, yeah, like, you know, like, people know what this motel is for. Like, they come here, they stay here for a couple hours, and then they leave. And it's like, so there's evidence number one that it's a hookup hotel. But then, like, later on, he's, like, showing Norman, like, stuff that people leave behind in the motel rooms. And he pulls out, like, literally a bottle of poppers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, even the gays in the world of Psycho know what this is for.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, if the Bates Motel were real, it would not be any different.
No.
Like, they'd be doing a lot more than poppers.
Yeah. He's like, ma'am, you left your glass pipe.
But yeah, that's why.
Along with your tickets to Atlantis cruise.
But yeah, and you know, I don't think Norman would be too upset about it because, you know, he's a creepy gay guy himself. So I think he'd be pretty happy that, you know, his motel is bringing the gay community together.
I know. All right. Well, I guess for my first one, I have Leatherface's Basement. You know, so my notes here from Newt, Texas, known for being a hotspot for human hunting, capture, and murder of wandering travelers. So when I first thought of this location, obviously Leatherface for the leather community.
Oh my god.
How original. But, you know, I just think of, like, it being, like, musky.
Very musky.
Very musky.
Very hot in that dry Texas environment.
Yeah.
Just don't eat the food there.
No. I mean, like, I don't know. Food in gay bars. We have to have a separate podcast episode for that.
Yeah.
The horrors of that.
There are only so many subpar chicken tenders I can eat in a bar.
Oh my god. Would you like a condom with your ranch?
Oh my god.
In your ranch. But yes, no, going back, like, leather bar, I can think of, like, the Eagle crowd would really like this place.
Yeah.
Because, like, our local eagle in Silver Lake has the chains, you know, that section where, like, the boys get flogged. And, you know, the same with Leatherface's Basement. I would think, like, the guys would come there and get chained, and then there's, like, that one twink in the corner getting chainsawed,
massacred.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I think, like, I feel like, speaking of the Eagle, I feel like Leatherface would fit right in at the Eagle. Yeah, a big burly bearish man wearing a leather mask. Like, that's kind of just like every other week at the Eagle.
It's literally, and they don't need to communicate. All they just
need
to say
grunt.
Is like, like, literally all of the videos on Twitter now.
It's kind of catch-22 because, like, it's in the middle of nowhere. So, like, you'd get a lot of those, like, closeted, like, farmer guys, using sniffies.
That's a good
like,
point.
it's this one spot. I guess I'll just go here. And then they show up, and it's just Leatherface. And, like, he brings out, like, his hooks and his knives and his whips and his chains, and they'll just think it's something normal, you know? Yeah. But little do they know they're about to become food for the Sawyer family.
Become his new mask, basically.
His new mask. Mask for mask.
Mask for mask.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, like, if you're in rural Texas, like, you're already in Texas, like, you might as well die. Like,
damn.
It's not. Listen. Do we think living in Texas is any better than dying in Texas?
Okay. Yeah. No, you bring up a good point.
Yeah.
Travelers.
Yes. Moving on to our next location, I think Camp Crystal Lake would be a pretty easy contender for the Sniffies map. I mean, I feel like Camp Crystal Lake is already one of those like very well-known horror locations, but for those who don't know, like it's the location featured in the Friday the 13th movies. You know, it's the place where Jason Voorhees drowned, quote unquote, as a child, and then continually came back for 10 plus movies to murder people who love going back to Camp Crystal Lake. I never understood why people kept going back to Camp Crystal Lake, but they just keep trying to open that camp. You know,
dick to bomb.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like, people love going to Camp Crystal Lake just to fuck. It's this literally like disgusting, rundown, abandoned camp, but people will find any excuse to fuck there. They will fuck in the cabins. They'll fuck in the canoes. They'll fuck in like the mess hall. Anywhere you could think there are like dumb, stupid people getting drunk and fucking in Camp Crystal Lake.
So I'm assuming, okay, because I never went to camp, but like, did you go to like summer camp?
I did used to go to summer camp. I used to be a camper, and then I became a camp counselor.
Oh,
yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Speak about it.
I mean, there was no fucking going. Well. So like, at least when I was there, as far as I know, there was no fucking going on. But like, there were, you know, like whispers of things that went on. Like, of, you know, I remember hearing this one rumor about like the camp almost getting shut down actually because like these two two girls were having sex in their camp, in their cabin, and then like when they went home, like one of the girls' moms like found out about it and like tried to like sue the camp and say that it was their fault that her daughter was fucking, and it's like,
wait, like, okay, these two, okay, you have to clarify, these two girls were like having sex with each other?
Yes.
Oh, like lesbian?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. And then, but like the mom found out about it and like tried to sue the camp for, I guess because she didn't want her daughter getting laid. I don't know. I'd give her a high five personally.
You send your daughter to camp. And
what
you're
do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah, like, Mom, I'm sorry. Like, we can't all have a personal massager, you know, back at home.
Yeah. So that was the only sex story that I ever heard while I was at camp. But like,
wild.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was more going on because like, you're at camp with these people for like a week straight, and like they're the only people around.
Yeah. Hormones
are rising. Like. Yeah.
Those shorts.
The shorts.
The shorts are like...
Those are what...
Yeah.
Those are what set people off. So I guess that explains why people get so horny at Camp Crystal Lake. But like, the thing is, at Camp Crystal Lake, Jason is always watching.
Another watcher.
So you can't stop because he's almost there.
No.
Yeah.
Is he joining?
I mean, if I were there, he'd be welcome to join.
Okay.
Unless it depends what version of Jason we're talking about, because there's several different versions. If it's like humanoid Jason, like he can join as long as he keeps the mask on.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Camp Crystal Lake, like, I think it'd be on the Sniffies map. I think it, considering like 10, 13 plus movies in and people still keep going back to fuck, like, I think Camp Crystal Lake would be a very, very popular spot on the Sniffies map.
Add to list.
Yes.
All right. Well, my next location is the the Hotel Cortez from American Horror Story Season 5.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, located in DTLA.
Did it ever say in the show like where it was like located specifically?
I think it was Los Angeles.
It was Los Angeles, but like where?
Oh, not like downtown Los Angeles.
Because I know like it's based on the Hotel Cecil, which is in downtown LA. Yeah. But like, are we just supposed to assume that's where it is?
I mean, I think so.
Okay.
But I mean, I would say that like, if it's like a true to the Cecil, then
downtown LA.
Yeah, let's set it there.
Okay.
But yes, when I think of this, I think of, you know, you have access to a lot of different characters coming in and out of different rooms.
Yeah.
So maybe like a gangbang
type
situation.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, Lady Gaga's character, she'd probably be the one organizing the gangbangs.
Yeah, no, she's like, come, gays.
Yeah.
Why are you sitting down? It's bad romance. But no, she's just like in the corner playing her hits and encouraging gay activities.
Debauchery.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I also think this would be on the Sniffies map. I don't know who would be setting it up because everyone who goes into the Hotel Cortez dies
Right.
and becomes a ghost.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the ghosts. Maybe the ghosts
That's how they
are
lure
still
them in.
using Sniffies. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would think it's like the people that can't host. Like you get a range of like young college students, and then the creepy old guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the kids from USC.
Oh,
And it's downtown LA, so Skid Row is right there. So like you get the
party and play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Would you if the Hotel Cecil was real, would you ever want to like I don't know, visit it?
The Hotel Cortez.
Hotel Cortez. Sorry.
If the Hotel Cecil, I was like, girl, I would not set foot in that cursed place.
You wouldn't step foot in the Hotel Cecil, but would you step foot in the Hotel Cortez? Just to see Lady Gaga, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm just like private concert, and I'm dead.
Yeah.
I can die.
Yeah, you'll die happy because you met your diva, your
Oh my
queen.
gosh.
Yeah.
Stop aging me like that.
Hey, Lady Gaga is timeless. It's not like
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a side note, but like, one of our mutual friends, we went to the Madonna concert, and we were like one of the younger people there. And we were saying to ourselves, is this us in 30 years going to a Lady Gaga reunion tour?
I mean, I think you just
Oh
saw
my
your
God.
future.
I just saw my future in like full on like poker face, like Just Dance makeup. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's not think about that.
Okay.
That's true horror.
Let's move on. Now, another location I think would definitely be on the Sniffies map. Well, it depends, because it's a more unconventional place, but the setting makes sense. It is the bathroom from Saw.
Oh.
Yeah. So, in the movie Saw, two men awake to find themselves kidnapped and thrust into this like disgusting, decrepit old bathroom and chained up in there. And they realize they have been made victims of the Jigsaw killer.
Oh.
And they realize that they have to play his sadistic games in order to escape. Now, to me, like hearing those words, like two men, a bathroom, playing games, like this kind of just sounds like a setup for a porno. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like we've all seen that one, like the two straight guys, and like they look over at the urinal and are like, "Oh, I'm not gay. I'm
What are
not
you
gay
doing, bro?"
either." Yeah. So like this immediately sounds very gay to me. But like the bathroom from Saw, I feel like that's one of those like iconic like horror movie locations. At least for me. Like I love Saw. It's one of my favorite like horror movies. Even franchises. Like I feel like the Saw franchise is very strong, if you can stomach them. But yeah, the bathroom, I think it's obvious, like just looking on the Sniffies website, that a lot of like freaky shit goes on in public bathrooms.
Oh, yeah.
And people don't even realize it.
Yeah, no.
Literally, like almost any bathroom you could think of, there's something going on in there. Like I saw when I went on the website, there was like the bathroom at Target, the bathroom at Macy's,
Wait.
the bathroom at Home Depot.
Wait, some of those you need a code. So like, are they putting the code in the invite? Like pound 528?
What if it's the employees that are like inviting people?
Oh
like,
my
Like you have to
gosh.
message the guy and he's like, okay, use this code. I'll meet you in there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, good on them.
It's not unheard of, for sure.
I mean, good on them. Like if you're working and you're on the clock, you might as well get laid while you're doing it. Like props to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bathroom from Saw, it might be gross, it might be decrepit, but like gays have had sex in worse places.
Some gays go because it's gross and decrepit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shoot, I mean, Jigsaw, like that might even be part of his games, like I've hidden a key inside one of you. You have to figure out a way to get it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah. enter, a bottle of lube and some gloves. You're in a fisting session.
Honestly, the next like ad for Rush.
But yeah, that's why I think the bathroom from Saw would be on the Sniffies map.
Troye Sivan, take notes. Your next music video set.
You just see Jigsaw in the background dancing.
You got my heartbeat. But yeah, I guess next on my list is the Dairy Sewers, aka Pennywise's playground. So yeah, located in the town of Derry, Maine, we first see these sewers when Georgie makes a paper boat with his older brother on a rainy day. It sails down the gutter drain, and guess who's there? Everybody's favorite clown, Miss Pennywise, being like, "Come here, little boy, ain't gonna hurt you." But no, the first thing I think of it going on the topic of like gross, disgusting places, you'd get a lot of like probably people into like piss play and scat play. To be honest with you,
in the sewer though,
in the sewer, but I mean like we we were talking about it, I know, earlier, but when you have all that there, at least they're being respectful and not like polluting the city. It's contained in there. And Pennywise is just like eating it up,
like he's literally eating shit,
probably. I mean, I don't know what he's into. I don't judge.
It's just like realistically, I would not doubt that there are people having sex in the sewer. I would not doubt if that's a real place, like on the Sniffies map, or
probably.
like a real hookup place that people go to have sex.
Manhole.
But yeah, literally. But it's just like, girl, you're gonna get E. coli, like salmonella. Yeah. Is it worth it? Like, and you add in the context of what we're talking about. If it's the dairy sewers, like Pennywise is down there, although that would probably be a plus for them, considering how many people want to fuck Pennywise.
Yeah. I mean, wait, who is that? The hot actor, the Skarsgård brother,
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, isn't he like one of the horror actors that everybody's like thirsting over too?
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I remember when it came out back in 2017. I hate that I saw so much fan art. Against my will, by the way. I would just like be scrolling on like Tumblr or something and see like, some god awful like Pennywise fan art, and it's like, yeah, he's eating children. Like, dude, we watched the same movie. I get that Bill Skarsgård is hot, but like, and also it's not even like he's hot as Pennywise. He's got like this big red hair, a receding hairline, this huge forehead.
My ex.
But yeah, I mean, I personally would never ever fuck in a sewer.
Same thing.
All right, so that was our discussion for places from horror movies that we think would be on the Sniffies map. So yeah, if you're ever in a horror movie setting, maybe go on to Sniffies and see if there's a place where you can get lucky one last time. Kyle, do you have anything else to add?
Yes. Don't do the sewers.
There are plenty of other places from horror movies that you can fuck in. Don't fuck in sewers.
Don't get killed.
Nothing with groundwater. So like, no sewers, no well from the ring. Because I know you brought that up.
Yeah.
No groundwater.
We scrapped that one for a reason.
Yeah.
We don't want people trying it out.
Yeah.
On real wells.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, that almost brings us to the conclusion of this episode. But before we go, we want to finish off our Halloween party with some spooky music. Every Halloween party isn't complete without a good spooky playlist. So we're going to give you our spooky track of the week, which is Haunted by Isabel La Rosa. Let's take a listen.
Poltergeist. We hope you enjoyed your stay at Chateau Macabre. If you would like to see more of our content, you can follow us on Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our YouTube channel is at Chateau Macabre, and our Instagram is at Chateau Macabre Podcast. Additional links listed down below. So join us next time at Chateau Macabre. Bye.
Bye.
Chateau Macabre is not endorsed by any of the material owners presented during the show. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, sounds, and clips are registered trademarks of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.